Okay, Glad. I accept your invitation.
If the moonlight energy is re-radiating, we already dealt with it. It's not. So that is a false premise. Should that
This can we also use this to prove that as another way?
if we can use this, we can prove this as another. This isn't a scientific hypothesis. It's not an experiment. However, you could possibly demonstrate something via another route other than an experiment. Follow?
Do you have any ideas?
I don't. It's your claim. I really don't. All I know, this isn't a scientific hypothesis for the reasons I just mentioned, and it's not. Therefore, it's not an experiment, not a viable one anyway.
What if you wanted to prove that it's causing a cooling effect, not that it's not re-radiated sunlight?
You could possibly do. It wouldn't be an experiment. You could demonstrate that somehow. Sure. Yep.
So say I do demonstrate it, how would I then make an experiment out of it?
You can't. It's not science. Sorry.
QE for people like me that are dumb. Why can't we make an experiment out of that?
Because it's not a viable scientific hypothesis. I don't know. Have you been on mute or deafened for the last 5 minutes?
I feel like you do have a presupposition between a cause and effect. I guess I'm not understanding that.
There is no presuppositions in hypotheses. Hypotheses are suppositions. That's your problem.
And yes, QE, I've been fiddling with getting a mic going for the past 5 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, rolling my boulder. Okay. I didn't know who was talking to me, so I just blurted it out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, why would it matter?
That's another problem. You have a presupposition where hypotheses are suppositions. There's a difference between suppositions and presuppositions.
That's why they're two different words.
So I guess a supposition would be that I actually did measure a difference at one point, and then now it's a supposition, right?
Supposition is it's tentative, it's provisional, whereas a presupposition is you already believe it to be true. So I suppose, yes.
And then I misspoke.
That's okay.
So wait, are you saying like a supposition is like a fact and a presupposition is falsifiable?
No, so I'm going to say it again. A supposition is provisional. That means you're getting ready to test it. Whereas a presupposition is something you believe to be true already.
I see. Can you falsify the presupposition or it's not?
Yeah. Yeah. You can falsify presuppositions, yeah. Because if they believe them to be true without evidence, then it's horseshit. Whereas a hypothesis is not believed to be true because it's a supposition. It's a preliminary step to get to experiment. Now, those are natural cause and effect relationships, but not everything falls into that category. So it could be true without it being an experiment. Follow?
I mean,
so based on
things are
the
true whether
supposition
we
that I make,
experiment on them or not, right?
I can't listen to two people at once, man.
the supposition that I have is based off of my experience.
I'm not going to deal with it again. I've already shot 4 or 5 holes in it. It's not going to recover. So you can do if I do this and if I do it, you don't. The only way you're going to do it is to post another hypothesis with a viable, independent, dependent variable.
Since I was fiddling with things, can I get the like cliff notes of the past 5 minutes? Well, what are you guys
No,
talking about?
I'm not going back over it.
So why is moonlight not a viable?
I already told you. I'm not going to tell you
again.
Moonlight. Moonlight. I already told you why it's not a viable scientific hypothesis. I shot 4 holes in it. I'm not going to do it again.
True. Traveler, what are you trying to argue about moonlight?
I'm trying to demonstrate and then have an experiment that says moonlight cools.
And you think you have like a bona fide experiment to do that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to develop.
Impossible.
Now, like I said, you could demonstrate that without it being an experiment and still be true. I think you missed that part.
Would that be proof?
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you couldn't be happy with that as well. I mean,
Mhm.
you're doing
I've
more
been
than
trying to say that for a while.
more than 99% of Americans who are just sat on the couch doing fuck all. You could be really happy with that. You know what I mean? I'd encourage you. That's what a wonderful thing. It's just not an experiment, according to
Okay,
according
so
to
like
science.
the like important thing is that you can make an observation and record what you saw, and what you saw is true.
No, that has
Is
to be an observation of a phenomena.
Naturally
I mean,
occurring phenomenon.
isn't everything that you observe a phenomenon?
No, I can observe a tree. It's not a phenomenon. It's a concrete noun.
Okay, so if you want to like observe the changing of the colors of the leaves, that's a phenomenon.
Now that could be one. Yes.
See, I speak your language, QE.
Just not the first one.
Just
So watching it grow, watching the leaves change, watching it die, watching it get chopped down, all of those are phenomenon.
It has to be.
But looking at it is not.
It has to be an occurrence, not a concrete noun.
verb.
Yeah, you can't.
what
I can
about-
look at a tree, but I can't make a viable scientific hypothesis out of. Okay, I observed a tree. Okay, what's the cause? Well, you didn't.
Okay,
It's
so
non
what
sequitur.
if I go measure the height of all the trees on my back lot? Is that an observation?
Measure the height. Height's not happening.
Yeah, like from the dirt to the highest leaf. Is
No.
that
Now, for plant growth, yes, you could come up with a scientific hypothesis for that. Sure.
no, I'm talking about experiment. Observation. Sticking
Yeah.
with the observation.
Yeah, hypothesis will lead to an experiment. It's called plant growth theory.
No, but just the
No. How
no
the
experiment.
Fuck no.
No experiment, just observations.
You can observe. You can have an. I'm telling you, you can do an experiment with that type of thing. That's an occurrence. Plant growth.
And it's better than just an observation. He's turned it into an actual, hypothesis. Yeah.
You could do it. Yep, a number of them, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes plant growth theory an actual scientific theory, right?
See, one time Brenda said a shoe is a naturally occurring phenomenon. And that's not true because a shoe isn't doing anything. Now, if a shoe were walking itself, you bet your fucking ass that'd be a naturally observed phenomenon that I would like someone to explain as well.
No, you're wrong.
What?
Yeah, you're now that statement is correct, but you're wrong.
Not natural.
It's not natural.
Oh, you know what? That's true. Okay.
Not that you weren't wrong. You were just you went down the next lane, whereas you could have killed it beforehand. How about that?
Right. Yep. I embellished. I always do that.
I have
So
the
wait a
shoe
minute.
in the
What if we like try to look at the shoe wear patterns? Is that natural or not natural?
I got the shoe in the archives.
Like if we just try to figure out how shoes wear out, is that
No, because that's
natural
not natural. That's a human wearing the shoe out.
Exactly.
It is a human wearing a shoe out, but the human is nature, right?
No,
Humans in nature don't have shoes.
that's a fallacy of division.
So you're saying like if we took
No, I'm saying
people
it's a
barefoot.
fallacy of division. That's what I'm saying.
You're saying if the people were barefoot and we looked at how their feet
No.
were out, that would be
I'm
natural.
saying it's a fallacy of division. You know what a fallacy of division is?
I have never heard that before.
Look it up. It's also known as a false division, faulty deduction, or division fallacy. Description: inferring that something is true of one or more of the parts from the fact that it is true of the whole. Example: atoms are natural. Everything is made of atoms. Therefore, everything is natural. That's a fallacy.
So would looking at how barefoot people's feet are out be natural or not natural?
No, it's created. It's man-made occurrence.
The bare feet aren't man-made though, right?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
The wear on the foot is man-made. The man puts the wear on the foot.
All right, I'll accept that. I get it.
You'll accept it. Oh, that's cute. Good for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I see your point. I concede.
Great. That means you have 3 brain cells instead of 1.5.
Damn, he's just piling on.
Glad is not a. He doesn't.
I don't mince words. Well, it's a waste of time. Listen, Roland, listen. You know it's flat. You're just coming here to do something else. And that's fine. We have fun with you. We like to play around with our food before we eat it, but we do eventually eat it, if you know what I mean.
Yes, indeed you do. And no, I don't know it's flat. It's definitely not flat.
It most certainly is. How do you get an elevation angle from a curved adjacent?
Tangents, spherical triangles,
Tangent.
spherical trig,
Okay.
all the things you've heard before. People have told
Okay,
us
yeah,
to-
everything I heard
dozens of
before, that includes ink molecules are alive. Okay,
things. Whoa,
So,
what?
when you
All
look
right,
through it,
if you
yeah, I
want.
heard that from a Evo Baltard. So back to the point.
He said
So,
ink molecules
show
are
me-
alive.
So, yeah, they said that ink molecules were alive. Yes, they did. Okay, so now back to the point. So I said, how do you have a curved adjacent? Right?
You take
You
the
said
you take the limit.
Tangent.
Take the limit. Take the limit.
So okay, thank you. So show us the tangent that the sextant shoots out when you look through it.
Okay, you've seen it before. The point
No,
on the
I
horizon.
want the tangent mirror. So throw up a fucking visual of a sextant and show us the tangent mirror, please.
I am not prepared to throw up visuals. So the Earth must be flat.
Yep, it is. Well, the Earth's not flat because of that. The Earth's flat because you're a moron and don't understand what triangles are.
Good catch, though. I'm a moron and I don't understand what triangles are.
What's a triangle?
Oh boy, 180 degrees. What do you want? 3 lines, 3 angles, 180 degrees.
Yeah, that's
kindergartners know these
shit.
things.
Shit, you said one with 180 degrees, so I immediately somehow listen. You know 99.9% more than your fellow Baltards. Tell you that much,
That's shameful.
isn't it?
And
So
that's
you
only a
got that
triangle.
more or less. So you said, did you say 3 straight lines?
I did not. I said 3 lines.
Oh, do they have to be straight?
What kind of triangle are we talking about, my friend?
Talking about a fucking triangle. There's only one triangle.
So no other adjectives like spherical or
No, there is no
hyper
spherical triangle. It's an oxymoron. There isn't
Why
one.
is it an oxymoron?
Well, because you said all the angles. Remember, I asked you for the definition.
Okay, sure,
you
sure.
said,
Yeah. You're right. I agree.
Thank you. Can I finish my statement?
You can.
You were correct in stating, like I said, you did a great job. You actually more or less defined it, even though it was like a scattergun, but you got it. You said all the angles of a triangle must add up to 180 degrees. Well, that is true because that's the most important property of a triangle. Then you said, well, QE, can't you put an adjective in front of that monkey and say spherical triangle? Well, if you do that, then all the angles in that spherical adjective triangle will not add up to 180 degrees, making it not a triangle, making it not a spherical triangle. Thank you very much. I'll be in the area all week.
Oh, yeah. I you know what? I don't disagree with you.
Now, people say spherical triangles. That doesn't make it true. People also say atmosphere, which is a contradiction.
Let's not go there. Let's stick with geometry.
I'm just giving an example of stating something that people say, rather flippantly, that is also a contradiction. So spherical triangle is as atmosphere.
Well, no. Spherical triangle. When they say spherical triangle, they're trying to jump from Euclidean geometry to some other kind, right?
Well, they can't because, like you said, the angle sum property of a triangle is 180 degrees. So I don't give a fuck what type of fairy tale geometry that somebody dreamed up. It's not a triangle.
You should care about the geometry that people dreamed up. It's all been dreamed up. Euclid dreamed up the triangles and all the...
I don't think so. I haven't studied too much of Euclid. I could really give a shit. I know what a fucking triangle is. I know that it's...
Because Euclid dreamed it up for you.
He didn't dream it up. I mean, I can demonstrate a triangle.
Holy crap, dude.
Yeah, so can I.
You think triangles didn't exist?
We both went through the same kindergarten, QE. We can both demonstrate triangles.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Do Globers really fight you on this definition of the triangle thing?
Yes. That's okay. I have a good time with them. It's like they're a fungus, and I'm fast-acting, tenactin.
Fast acting, not just... Okay. All right. Well, there's other geometries that have been dreamed up over the years, and whatever. They may or may not be real.
Yeah, they're dreamland.
But so is Euclid's.
So here we go back again. Okay, I can demonstrate what a fucking triangle is.
Well, I mean, give me a beach ball, and I can demonstrate all kinds of spherical things too.
Oh, really? You can't demonstrate a fucking triangle.
Touche, my friend. I cannot. I agree.
Too funny.
Dude,
what would it matter what
you're too easy to get along with, man.
Like for real, like you could draw a smiley face on a beach ball. Does that mean that there's a large smiley face on the earth?
No, it does not.
Yeah, there you go. So take that analogy and run with that, all the other arguments.
He already conceded there, AI. Down, boy, down.
Yeah. Just because I could draw something on a beach ball does not make it present.
You're gonna get him going now.
You know what, Roland? I think you may be one of the most honest Globers. Could be.
But I'm still deep down, I'm still a Glober. So
yeah, but how are you a Glober when you can't get an elevation angle with a curved adjacent? I'm having a hard time with that.
Me too.
Oh, I don't get elevation angles from curved adjacents. I get them from those obnoxious tangent lines. So
you can't do that because
in truth,
you can't do that.
I don't regularly.
You can't do that. That's non sequitur. That doesn't follow. Define an elevation angle. With citation, please, not what you make up.
Well, you'd have to give me time to go
ahead.
Do that.
Or do you want me to just kill it right now?
Yes, kill it right now. I know.
Kill it with fire.
Yes, not just kill it, but with fire, so it can't come back.
Hold on a second.
Oh. Ay. We've done this before, QE, with the elevation angles.
I can't remember.
I know. We all run together, right?
It's too old.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old, and I've been down this road too many fucking times. So, 49 minutes after the hour, measurement of elevation angle. From radartutorial.eu. From radartutorial.eu. Oh, I'm sorry. 49 minutes after the hour, measurement of elevation angle. Elevation angle is the angle between the horizontal fucking plane and the line of sight measured in the vertical plane. From IGCSE 2021 edition, 16.02 angles of elevation and depression. An angle of elevation is the angle from the lower object to the higher one, while an angle of depression is the angle from the higher object to the lower one. Both angles are measured with respect to the horizontal fucking plane of the object.
I love that. I love the horizontal fucking plane.
Don't you like that?
I do.
All right, there you go. You're debunked. Why aren't you a flat earther?
Yes.
Because of how I define horizontal fucking plane.
Oh, you define.
There you go. There's the answer. So what you do in your mind is you call it a tangent when all you know of a certainty is that it's a horizontal plane.
Yeah,
So
I mean, have you seen?
Hold on. You observe and experience a horizontal plane, right? Then you infer that it must be a globe, and therefore you infer it must be a tangent line. So you're jumping logical categories there, and you're misplaced. So again, you can't put a ruler on a beach ball and say, therefore, when I go out into the world, I'm on a tangent line.
Wait. Why can't I put a ruler on a beach ball?
You can, but you'll be a numpty dipshit.
Oh my goodness, bro. Did I not have an entire logic string?
Sorry, horizontal plane is not synonymous with a tangent line. Like he said, it's a category error.
Correct. By the way, neither is it synonymous with the horizon, which a lot of globists seem to make the mistake.
I would never tell you that the horizontal plane was synonymous with the horizon.
Yeah, you just did.
Only a numpty dipshit would make that.
No, you just did. Implicitly, you did that.
Maybe implicitly I might, but explicitly, no.
Implicitly, you did, it's more than enough evidence to hang you from the neck till dead.
Yeah, which by the way, fair point, comes around like this as a conclusion. The horizon that we see is the left to right axis, right?
Apparent horizon, no less.
And the horizon plane that you're standing on, if you quote unquote assume it's a ray line from your feet, which you would have assumed was a tangent, but you agree it's a horizontal plane in practicality.
Is this
so you'd end up with
is this the paper towel?
You'd end up with a z-axis, right? And an x-axis that are horizontal to each other in just one big plane. Now, the only thing of a certainty that you could then conclude is that the horizon plane, right, or encompassing it all into one and mixing the categories, that plane is below your feet, which is true. And there is an angle from your eye line, which is above the plane, to the plane below your feet, which is also true. You could call that a depression angle, a dip angle, whatever you want to call it. But that's what we all experience. Nobody experiences any curves anywhere. So again, you can't put a ruler on a beach ball and then pretend you're on a tangent in real life.
So you mean like if I'm standing on the beach and I look left, right, forward, whatever, that it doesn't make any sense for it to be a globe, because if I'm looking left, right, I should be seeing the same curve that I see if I look from my feet forwards. Is that?
No, not even close.
Well, dude, I'm trying, man.
When you look left to right, you don't see any curve. And when you look forward, you don't see any curve. You never see any curve standing on the earth.
Never seen a curve. All right. Nothing's around. No ships.
By the way, that's agreed upon. This is already established, agreed upon in all camps that talk about this subject on any kind of non-asinine level, that the Earth is experienced on the base level from the vantage point of the observer as flat and stationary.
Yeah, if I'm at the beach and looking out over water, flat, stationary, and I had nothing around, just me, beach, water, flat, desert island. You're right, flat and stationary. I agree.
Yeah, but if you hold a beach ball in your hands and rub it, then you can pretend you're on a globe.
That I could, I guess. Or if, like, I'd been taught things and knew critical thinking and then used all kinds of other observations, then I could also do it without rubbing the beach ball.
Like what?
Oh, the famous things. Ship's bottom up. Sextant. Elevation.
So
Sextant
yeah.
elevation angles. That's flat Earth
What?
proof. Thing.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Ship's
So-
bottom up. That fucking 2015 called. They want their disheveled.
Yeah. You get an angle. You get an angle
Really?
from
2015?
baseline.
7 years ago? That's fucked up.
2015.
real.
That 2015 argument.
Like for real, you get an angle from a flat baseline, and then you look at a beach ball and say, "Oh, I must be on a globe."
Bottom up. Well, that's a cause and effect relationship. A natural cause and effect relationship. What's the hypothesis? And then post the experiment validating your claim. Yeah. Good night.
Yeah. By the way, I will submit to the audience that the only experiential claim that the average globe-believing person has, whether they be, nominal or a zealot, is the bottoms of things disappear, and they can't fathom any other cause except an obstruction in between point A and B.
So that means it's a false cause fallacy. They haven't demonstrated it.
The only reason it's a globe, it's because it's not.
Of course,
Absolutely.
we have of course, there's all kind of demonstrations of that geometric horizon, that fairy tale that keeps on blocking boats and buildings and shit. Not where it's supposed to be.
That I almost agree with AI, except there's a second thing that I have experienced.
What's that?
And
Ooh.
I mean, you guys, you'll reject it straight out.
What's his name?
I know it'll be rejected straight away, but in terms of just raw, my own personal direct experience,
we don't reject stuff straight away. Stop over talking me. It won't be rejected. It'll be deconstructed and then spat out with fucking virulence.
Yeah. Fair point. Let's criticize that as well. The only thing that you can reject out of hand, right, is claims that have absolutely no evidence whatsoever, and or an incoherent logic string on its face. If someone makes an incoherent statement, you can dismiss it based on the logical structure alone. You don't need to examine any of the premises.
Good point.
Fine. So the two direct things that I have personally experienced is like looking out over water, bottom up type stuff.
I already fucking just went over this. So why would the fuck would you bring this back up again? Okay, let's go through this step by step. I put you on mute so you don't continue the diarrhea of the mouth fuckwittery circle jerk. It's like you're pulling crazy Ivans every 5 seconds. Now, this bottom up obstruction is your direct proof of a globetard. That's a natural cause and effect relationship. So in order to validate that, you would have to come up with a hypothesis. So give me a hypothesis, identify the independent, dependent variable, and then the individual, doesn't have to be an individual, the institution that has demonstrated that via experiment.
I have not any of that for you.
Then it's horsepuckery. Number 2. Go ahead.
Oh, laying on the ground in my backyard looking at the night sky for a couple hours before bedtime.
All right. What does that prove?
Yeah, it proves nothing. It's just a direct experience I had.
Direct experience?
Whoa. Yeah. You said you had a direct experience from what we were hearing, for what you were saying of the Earth being a globe.
Oh, yeah. Both of these things were direct experiences that I feel like I've had that meant it was a globe, but I didn't mean they.
So how is it a globe from just looking up at the night sky? This is dumber than your first one.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't mean to offer it as proof to other people.
Well, then that's what you were saying, that this is my direct experience that it's a globe tart. So then you gave us the second one that it doesn't prove or disprove any fucking thing.
Yeah. What you need is to take those observations, all right, at least, at the minimum, put them into a logic string where the conclusion follows from the premises.
Yep. You can't do it.
So I'll do it for you. I'll do the first one for you, and you can try the second. So the first one goes like this. If the Earth was a globe with a big hump of Earth curve in the way, things would disappear from the bottom up as they go beyond or below, right, that curve, right? Now, the next part is important. Things do, quote unquote, disappear from the bottom up. Now your next sentence is crucial. If you say, therefore the Earth is a globe, you've committed a logical fallacy. If you say, therefore the Earth could be a globe, you're in the realm of saliency.
Yep. Very good.
But nobody does that. Nobody says, oh, therefore the Earth could be a globe. They axiomatically just spurt out, it is a globe because of this logical fallacy, which is literally defined as a formal fallacy.
Yep. Yep. So you got
now,
two
it
fallacies.
Would be true. Yeah, and it would be true if the initial premise necessary for the conclusion to follow was proven, which is the Earth being a globe. You can't use assuming it in a fallacy to then prove it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, well, the first part is that the argument's void as soon as you invoke a logical fallacy, and you got two of them. Like he said, affirming the consequent, form a logical fallacy with the first one. That's number one. Number two is a false cause fallacy, spurned by the affirming the consequent.
Yeah, so knowing that, now we'd like to know how looking up at some lights in the sky gets you to Earth's a globe.
Yep.
I mean, that was actually a pretty good job, dude. I'm on my heels.
You should be. You should have been on your heels as soon as you come out of the womb.
Nevertheless, here I am. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint.
I feel like there's a lot more that I was taught. A lot more that I was taught in school. And
right.
And you could call that
you were taught,
and you could call that indoctrination, and I'll concede that. And then the stuff I'm saying was consistent with the indoctrination. So that's kind of why I.
So
no.
So they consistently indoctrinated you.
Sure.
Well, listen. To be fair, okay, if you were actually going to try to attempt to explain it to me with a logic string, the only logic string that you could come up with, in my experience, I haven't had one contrary, is just another affirming the consequent fallacy. Now, to be fair, there are many of these in the globe model, paradigm, whatever you want to call it, right? There's plenty of them. If it was a globe, then this would be. This is, therefore it's a globe. That's where they go wrong. They teach all the kids, therefore it is a globe, without proving it in the first instance. Because that logic string doesn't follow the conclusion necessarily. It could be, but it's not necessary.
I agree. They don't understand the difference between sufficiency and necessary.
Yes. Awkwardly, I agree with both of you.
Right. So you have a collection. The
whole if and only
logic. Yeah, you have a collection of logic statements which are either fallacies or where the premise isn't proved in the first instance. So there are some that aren't fallacies, but you need that initial premise to be proven first. So here's what they do, and here's the sleight of hand. Check it out. They find a coherent logic string, right, which would actually follow if the initial premise was true. And they present that as the stone cold evidence. But the initial premise is proven where? In the previous formal logical fallacy. They borrow the conclusion from a fallacy to put into a non-fallacy. And so you end up with a big circle of fallacy.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and just admit that the shape of the Earth, that it's a globe, has never been logically, mathematically proved to me. It's a totality of evidence kind of thing, not a proof. That's why
The
I'm
totality of
No. Wait a
incoherent
second. Wait a
logic?
second. Hold on. Evidence is proof. So you said the totality of evidence and proof are synonymous.
I think evidences are a collection of facts. Evidences are facts, and then the meaning that you derive from them is something else.
Negative evidence is proof.
So wait, like we found, John Smith's
define it.
DNA. We found John
No.
Smith's DNA at the scene of the
Deny
crime.
it.
Doesn't prove.
Define it.
Define what?
Define both. Citation, please.
Define proof and evidence?
Yep. That's how we can tell the difference.
I don't. I can try to get back to you, but I do not have anything.
Nah, that's okay. I'll do it for you.
Can I read them though?
Yes. 1 second.
Awesome.
Six minutes after the hour.
I see it. Evidence, adjective from Merriam-Webster.com, an outward sign, indication, or B, something that furnishes proof. Testimony, specifically, something legally submitted to a tribunal to ascertain the truth of a matter. From OxfordDictionaries.com, proof is evidence or argument establishing a fact of truth or statement. From CollinsDictionary.com, prove, 1, test by experiment. Well, that doesn't mention evidence, so I'll ignore that. From Merriam-Webster, proof synonyms, confirmation, evidence, validation. Sound damning to my statement there. And then... yeah, okay. So yeah, I think evidence. I think, geez, boy, that's rough. I think of the word proof and prove. I think of them as math and logic, and evidence. I think of more epistemological grounds.
Incorrect.
Oh, it's not automatically incorrect. I mean,
math and logic it doesn't matter. It's a red herring fallacy. Proof is evidence. Evidence is proof.
But you agree that there are math.
No, I don't agree.
Proofs,
no,
yeah?
math is no. Mathematics is only domain specific. It's only descriptory. That's all.
And logic?
Depends on what type of logic you're using.
Formal.
Formal logic.
Yeah, can formal logic prove things?
What's formal logic?
It is concerned primarily with the form of the logical argument.
So you're talking syllogistic logic.
Sure.
So yeah, but the premises could be false. The statements can be logical, but invalid.
This is true. Yeah.
Yep.
I would awkwardly argue that the black swan is a case in point.
A case in point of what?
Faulty premises.
Really? What's the fault? You've got conditional statements. If the Earth is a sphere, radius 3959.
And light travels in straight lines.
No, we're not talking about light here.
We're looking. So we
just
are
the argument. Just the argument.
But we're looking.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's the premises are right as rain. Yeah. That's a sound logical argument.
With faulty premises.
All right, what's the premises of the black swan?
Earth is a globe, curving away at whatever 8 inches per mile squared, and that light travels in straight lines.
Nope, there's nothing about light.
Well, of course, it's omitted purposefully.
It's not omitted. It's not part of the argument. It's a geometric argument.
But the black swan you're looking at something. So light.
No, the black swan argument is not looking at something. It's an argument. The evidence is when you start looking at something. You got the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Yeah, it finally hit home. Did the penny drop for you?
Oh, the penny has dropped so long ago. Elevation angles, yeah?
It should have dropped then.
It's the year of the sextant.
No, it's the age of the sextant.
Yeah, never mind the year of the dragon or whatever. It's the year of the sextant.
So back to the logical consistency argument. It can't be. All the premises are all true. Conditional statements are true. The only thing you could say about the evidence from a geometric argument is a category error, and it implodes the whole fairy tale spinning ball space monkey religion. The guys haven't got a hold of this in over 2 years, which is fucking scary. The moment you say refraction in response to the black swan argument,
Whoa! Have I said that word?
no, but you're getting to it. So the moment anyone says refraction in response to the black swan argument, the prosecution fucking rests. But that's all you guys do because you're like automatons. You're numpty dipshits that are fucking clueless. That's why.
But I didn't use that word.
You got close.
Maybe, but I didn't use it.
Dude, what else did you do? Think about it.
So
but I want to go back.
To say I didn't use it is being disingenuous. I mean, in a way.
In a way,
you
but
have to use it.
I want to back up to the evidence proof thing. Evidence submitted in a jury criminal trial proceeding.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
It's not, but that's not proof, right?
That's subjective. We're not talking about that.
Well, what do you mean it's subjective? The evidence.
What do I mean? So in a court, it's reasonable doubt, right? Well, this isn't a reasonable doubt. We're into empiricism here. So there's no subjectivity to it at all. It's objective. Follow? Just like the black swan argument, it's objective. It's all geometric or geometry. That's all it
absolutely.
is.
I agree with you that the criteria to convict is reasonable doubt or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not the criteria used to submit evidence before the court.
Yeah. Well, if you submit
Who cares?
evidence, hold on a second. If you submit evidence and it does not affirm proof, then it wasn't evidence to begin with. It was only in name only.
But both sides, the defense and the prosecution, submit evidence.
Who gives a fuck? That's a red herring, dumbass fallacy. You got to come up with something fucking better. What are you trying to debunk here?
I'm not trying to debunk anything.
Well, what's your point?
That the evidence and proof aren't synonymous.
Oh, they're not.
Yeah,
so you're
perfect.
going against the definition. Hold on a second, AI. Just wait a second. You fucking read out the definition that said that they were synonymous. Now you're going against that. That violates the law of non-contradiction.
Those were interesting definitions.
Yeah, they were from Merriam-Webster. What's your definition?
Like definitions before the
Yeah,
court.
they are definitions. Merriam-Webster provide the definition. Yes, they're definitions.
What court, dude? What court are we in?
I mean, QE wouldn't accept everything from Merriam-Webster, so
That doesn't. That's all or nothing fallacy, by the way. So your argument's void on that point. Next.
It is. I mean, is Merriam-Webster
Yeah,
a
it
trustworthy
is.
source or not?
Yeah. Your question was it is? Yes, it's an all or nothing fallacy, making your argument to that point void. So yes, it is.
I'm genuinely curious to hear like all or nothing fallacy and argument appeal to authority fallacy.
Argument
seem like a very narrow.
That doesn't appeal to authority. Never came up. argument.
No, it
The
didn't.
all or nothing fallacy is just how it sounds.
Drace is here. Drace,
the,
what's the all or nothing?
well, what the argument more or less is, or what the argumentee more or less puts out, is if a source states something and you cite it, then you must believe everything from that source. So if Joe fucking Coffee Monkey Baltard says 2 + 2 is 4, then everything, I agree with that. Then I must agree with every fucking incoherent bullshittery that comes out of his mouth. That's where the fallacy is, and you employed it.
This must be related to the appeal to authority fallacy, because
Nah,
Joe Schmittery, he could be an expert in math, but then make comments about all sorts of other things. Right?
It's not. We can connect other things to that, but in this case, it's not.
So I can offer up a source, and then if that source says other things about the same subject matter, I can say, well, whatever, I don't believe that part, but I only believe this one part.
Yeah, it has to be hyper topic specific.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Merriam-Webster's topic is defining words, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but the problem is that the online dictionary versions of some of those define level as adhering to the surface curvature of Earth's water.
No, it's
so
a
obviously they're wrong.
No, that's a contradiction. So let me see if I can find that. They contradict themselves. Merriam-Webster does. Hold on one second.
Here comes Lemon.
Let me search this. Oh, it's not going to be a long search. I just fucking found. Hold 1 second. So let's go to Merriam-Webster and listen to them contradict themselves in one sentence. They contradict themselves. So each tenet, each claim has to be evaluated on its own merit. Hold on a second.
It does start to seem circular. If
Lost
the source's claims must be evaluated on their merits, then how can it be a
single
source?
one. Yep, every single claim from a source.
Then how can it be a source?
Say again?
Then I just don't understand how that can be an authority on the subject.
Well, because like AI said, that Merriam-Webster is an authoritative source. Doesn't make them right about everything, but they're authoritative source on definitions. I mean, duh. I mean, do I need to go into why?
But then if they're not right about everything, and if some of the words are wrongly defined,
yep,
how can I trust the subset that you use?
You can't.
So then why bother citing them?
You can't. Well, because not everything, you're using another all or nothing fallacy.
But how do I know that the words that you cite are correct? How do I know the words you cite are correct?
It's not but. Well, you have to evaluate it based on basic reasoning and no law of non-contradiction violations. That's how. All right, let's see if I can find this thing. Hold on a second. I didn't.
Yeah, there's also, while I was looking for that, there's also logical differences between categories of things and between subsets within the same categories, like an adult and a child, right? Those are obviously two different things. And no changing of the definition of those is going to change those in reality. You can't call, a child an adult, and it mean anything anymore. At that point, you're just using a token, the word adult. It's just a phrase, a phoneticization of the mouth. It has no meaning anymore.
Here we go. So let me put this Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster. And this is the definition. 1 second. It's an adjective. 1 second. Merriam-Webster. I think it's level. Adjective. This is really going to be funny. Adjective.
This is going to be awkward for me, isn't it?
It's not awkward. This is really cool because I'm going to show you right now. Not only do they fucking contradict themselves. Uh-oh. Oh, no thanks. Not only do they contradict themselves right in the previous statement, but later on down the page, it's actually annotated. Hold on. This is really funny. Copy? Okay.
I got nothing.
Hold on a second. I'm going to get there. And that's Merriam-Webster too. Okay. Let's go to 20 minutes after the hour. Skip the first definition. We're going to go down, choose the right synonym for level. So level, flat, plane. Sorry, level shouldn't be there. Flat, plane, even, smooth means having a surface without bends or curves. That's down on the same page. Now let's roll up to their adjective definition of level. Having no part higher than another. Okay, that's good. Conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of the Earth's surface. You got major fucking problems here. They contradict themselves because having no part higher than another, we're just looking at this statement. And conforming to curvature, curvature is defined as changing elevation, whereas the first part says no change in elevation. This first statement is a contradiction just inherently.
Whoa. Curvature is defined as changing slope. Am I right?
Yeah, and slope is what? Is the measure of the change of what?
Position.
Elevation, you fucking retard. So, back to my point. They not only contradict themselves inherently within their little definition, adjective definition, but they train themselves for the second time when they say level is a surface without bends or curves.
I agree. So either Merriam-Webster is full of shit, or the word level is complicated and misunderstood.
Number one, they just contradict themselves. This is the only contradiction I have seen in the definition of level.
Right. So they could be full of shit.
So Merriam-Webster? Yeah, but that's an all or nothing fallacy. There's a lot of definitions they do get right.
Well, yeah, but how would we discriminate?
Well, basic reasoning and discernment. Simple. These have no contradictions in them. From dictionary.com and Cambridge, level, having no part higher than another. There you go. That's the same thing Merriam-Webster said before they contradicted themselves. Flat or even surface. Level, being a plane parallel to the plane of the horizon. Horizontal. Level, to make a level, even or flat. So level is flat. From Cambridge, level. Not rising or falling or higher on one side. That's saying the same elevation. But even in all directions, horizontal or flat. So flat and level are synonyms. Something that is level with something else is at the same height. Elevation again. There you go. There's no contradiction in these. So we're good.
Are those all of the definitions of those sources?
All of the definitions for level, yes.
Sounds compelling, if that's true.
Yep. Yeah, Merriam-Webster cracks me up with that level one. Especially,
what about Oxford? Oxford's not on your list. I've seen you cite Oxford before.
I don't know where they're at.
I've seen you reference Oxford in previous things.
Well, I've referenced a lot of people in my life. That doesn't mean I'm going to reference them right now.
Oh, yeah, but if Oxford agreed with Merriam, then it'd be 2 versus 2.
Oxford agrees. It's not an agree-disagree type of thing. These are axioms.
Well, yeah, but then we have like 2 authoritative sources versus 2 authoritative
I
sources.
already
How
got
would we
2
decide?
authoritative sources right here. I got Merriam-Webster that's not sniffing glue. Then I have dictionary.com and Cambridge. What else do I need?
So if I went out and found 2 other
Go ahead.
academic sources that offered different
Go ahead.
definitions, then what?
Go ahead. Let's see it. Let's see them.
I will save them and bring them on our next encounter.
All right. Fair enough.
Don't have. I mean, I will.
Okay.
I'll dig into it for you.
I said, okay, fair enough. Well, this has been a whole lot of fun. But it's time for me to go. So
I agree.
yeah, I bet you do.
Hey, Boulder, how do you feel about being a QE survivor?
I don't think you survived it.
I don't know. As long as you don't jerk QE around with a bunch of bullshit, it's not that bad.
Yeah, you start
QE is
bullshitting.
just intolerant of any. QE is extremely intolerant of any inaccuracy.
If you don't mind me
You mean
saying,
he's
dude,
pretty accurate?
you sound like a masochist to me. I don't know. I'm just saying. You just seem to enjoy it. Enjoy getting